This week's parasha, Parashat Vezot Haberacha, Simchat Torah. We're finishing the Torah. Baruch Hashem, we worked hard this year. We learned a lot this year. Baruch Hashem, we have even more koach to start Bereshit right away because we're going to keep learning. We're going to jump into that Yama Torah and keep going. Baruch Hashem, get deeper and deeper. Baruch Hashem, though the parasha starts off, Vezot Haberacha. This is the beracha that Moshe Rabbeinu, at the end of his life, is blessing the Jewish people. And it starts off, Vayomar, Moshe Rabbeinu says, Vayomar Adonai misinai ba vezarach b'seir lamo hofia mehar paran ve'atem mirvot kodesh. HaKadosh Baruch Hu came from Har Sinai, revealed himself to us, and he came with miyamino eshdat lamo, and from his right hand he presented an eshdat lamo. He brought down to the Jewish people a fiery Torah, an eshdat. Now, we spoke in the past, based on the Ramban, that what is this concept of the eshdat, this fiery Torah? What fire? What are we talking about? So the Ramban says this hints to the idea that up in the Shamayim, the Torah of the heavens, the Torah of the Shamayim, is a fiery Torah. It's a black fire on a white fire. So let's try to give it a little angle. What does this mean, black fire on a white fire? And maybe we can try to derive some deeper ideas from it. So, first off, says the Shla Kadosh, Sha'otiyot hem b'shorsham ruchaniyut. He says the letters of the Torah, the holy letters of the Aleph Bet, especially the letters of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's name, their shorish is spirituality. V'tzurat ha'otiyot v'kotzeim v'tagim v'tzuratam yeminu smol meramzim al hana'agat ha'sirot shekol ot ve'ot. And he says that in these letters there's hints to some of the deepest ways that HaKadosh Baruch Hu runs the world spiritually. And on this comes along the Ramchal, and the Ramchal says, we should know, how did this light come into the otiyot? What is the sod hitpashtut ha'orot? What is the, when Hashem brings his light down into the world, how does that work? So he says, that's actually the secret of the letters. It's the secret of the letters of our Torah. Because how does it work? How did HaKadosh Baruch Hu bring down his light? So he says, just like when you write a Sefer Torah, so you take the black ink and you do a little speck to the right, to the left, towards the middle, that's what's now creating the letter, creating now the understanding. So to speak, there's a similar thing happening above, which was called the black fire and the white fire. You have the light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that is so great, but Hashem, we can't handle, we're blinded, we can't handle that great white light. The Esh Lebana is considered to be this great light. So Hashem was mitzamtzem. Hashem holds himself back, contrasts himself back, and that's called black fire. A lot of times when we speak about Hashem holding himself back, so a lot of the explanation is about Hashem holding back the light, not giving it all. But there's another idea, which seems to be in the Ramchal over here, that it's not that Hashem is holding back a light, he's sending down a black light, a black fire. That something is coming down, but what's coming down, it's a hidden light, meaning the way the ore comes down is by filtering it. So you filter it, you can't get to the white straight, it's too much. So you filter it through the black light, and that's like the black fire coming down from the white fire. To read it in the words of the Ramchal, so he says that when HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to spread out his light down to different levels, ganaz oro, he hid away his light, v'chshichoto, and he made it darker. So it wouldn't shine so much. And that's what it means, that the esh shechora is on top of the white fire. The black fire is what it helps us reveal the light that we want to see. So every place where the black fire came down, that is the esh shechora. And he says, so too when it comes to the letters of the Torah, when it comes to the black ink on the white parchment, the black ink, it's what's magbil. It makes the borders, it makes the gvulot, that now the light can come in, now we can understand, now we can have things. So this idea of holding back, making it smaller, making it a bit darker, so we can handle what's coming down. That's the whole idea of the black fire. And this might be, we can maybe take this idea to our parasha, when Moshe Rabbeinu was saying that from Hashem's right hand, he's giving us this esh da. We're getting this fiery Torah, which is supposed to hint to the black fire and the white fire. So I saw an interesting idea. We mentioned it in the previous Dvar Torah, in the Maharal, and Tiferet Yisrael. So he has a whole discussion over there about when Moshe Rabbeinu went up to the Shamayim and he saw Hashem crowning the letters on the Torah. What letters was HaKadosh Baruch Hu crowning? Which letters was he crowning the letters? Because in the Gemara there's a whole big machloket. Was the original Torah what Ketav Ashurit, the letters that we have nowadays, or was it Ketav Ivri, the ancient Hebrew things you find in archaeology? I think probably the majority approach in the Mafarshim is that the original Luchot, the original Torah was the Ketav we have today. Ezra brought that back, but in the middle there was this Ketav Ivri. But he's asking, up in the Shamayim, when Moshe Rabbeinu saw Hashem crowning the letters, which Ketav, which writing of Hashem needed crowns? Which was missing the crowns? We know today in our script today we have crowns, so it's very easy to say the Ketav Ashuri, but in the Maharal he has a whole big arichut on this. Now in the fancy Maharals he brings down in a footnote, and he quotes another Maharal that says, wait, if we're talking about the Shamayim, then maybe in the Shamayim we're not talking about the Assyrian script or the ancient Hebrew script. We're not talking about any of these scripts, because in the Shamayim, what is the Torah? The Torah is black fire on white fire, meaning Moshe Rabbeinu saw Hashem crowning the black fire. Now, if that's true, Lanut Ati, I think we can say a cool, deep idea if we connect what we saw in the Ramchal to what we're seeing now in the Maharal, that when HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to bring down the Torah, so Hashem had to hide it away. He had to make it more concentrated, more hidden, more darker, not as bright, so it wouldn't blind. So now it makes Moshe Rabbeinu's question so much stronger. If the Torah is lo b'shamayim, it's not in the shamayim, I'm bringing it down to mankind. I'm bringing down black fire. I'm making gvulot, gvura. I'm holding back tzimtzum. I'm concentrating it down. I'm making a contraction. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, what are you adding crowns for? The crowns, the keter, that takes us back up above. Also, what's this concept of being kosher or keter? I thought a keter is not supposed to be attached. It has to be separate. That's what a keter is all about. But now you're taking the keter, which symbolizes something one level higher, one level above, and you're bringing it down to the people down below. That's the whole opposite of what you're trying to do, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You're trying to bring down black fire, keep us away from the white. So what are these little black speckles, these little flicks of the ink that make up these ketarim, that make up these crowns, HaKadosh Baruch Hu? What are you doing? That makes the question really, really strong. And then Hashem responds, no, there is a guy. There's a guy, Rabbi Akiva. There is going to be a person down below in Olam Hazeh who's going to be able, in Olam Hazeh, to be able to doresh some of these really deep secrets, and for him, it's worth it to have these little tiny specks, little tiny flicks of the dio, of the ink, of the quill that makes those little crowns on top. Yeah, there's such depth to it. That's reaching up to the Shamayim. There's Rabbi Akiva who could understand that. If we actually connect that to some of the other Maharals, when he speaks about that whole Gemara, he also, one of his big approaches, how could Rabbi Akiva learn that? It's actually when Rabbi Akiva dies and when he loses the Olam Hazeh, through his Yisurim, through his suffering, when his flesh was literally combed off, at that point he was leaving Olam Hazeh. That level is what gets him up to Olam Haba. So if we take that approach to the Maharal, that's even more interesting, because that means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is bringing crowns into this world for us to learn, but really it's as we leave this world that we're able to get that ticket back up. So in a certain sense, those ketarim are really the ticket towards the white fire. They're the ticket towards the klaf. They're the ticket to try to get to those greater lights that are much brighter. And we see Rabbi Akiva was zocheh. Chag Sameach.